or they take it to an area where we already got to jump.
But if you're talking the county doing it, you're talking quite a bit of money. So that's why he's gonna do it for free. He has the ability, he's got the truck, he can transport it. We give him a set drop dead date and get it out of there, but not to disassemble it right there on site.
I would say 2 weeks. Don't like 2 weeks. We'll go out and make a move, be down there. These people out there are just complete months. So this is ridiculous. What's going on long enough? The 2 weeks, and if he puts it all, he'd be ready to go. No action in 2 weeks, then I'll say highway department, that's my thing. You guys take it there.
Well, all right, so, we good? All right,
Just let me know.
yeah, I'll let you know. Okay, going back up to the old business, we had that motion to get accounting services.
I would assume there's no interest in looking at anything with that.
Moving on, building permits. Okay, you want to talk about the building permits, Brandon? Start that off.
Yeah, right now I have or in the packet is a finalized draft of a building permit ordinance. And as we've discussed on more than one occasion, this was language largely borrowed from the Union County Building Permit Ordinance and tweaked to fit our specifications. It's been reviewed by myself, my office, the county board, and Jeff Robinson at the assessor's office more than once and has approval of all of them. Jeff Robinson at the assessor's office had a concern about the enforceability of the building permits on agricultural land and structures. There's an exception in our authorizing statute that we cannot enforce a building permit on agricultural land and buildings. However, we also have our floodplain ordinance, which is ordinance number 07083105, which is enforceable on floodplain or on agricultural buildings and agricultural structures, and does have its own development permit requirements, and an enforcement provision wherein the state's attorney's office can and is authorized to take violations to, punish violations in the circuit court. Jeff Robinson's concern was the state's attorney's office willingness to enforce the floodplain ordinance under the penalty provision. And Brandon's here to give assurances or our state's attorney's position on enforcing the floodplain ordinance.
Right. Brent, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, my concern, this came up about 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago with Wendy, when I think the board or Mr. Robinson was wanting to enforce the floodplain ordinance on someone who had already built a structure, on the floodplain. My concern was the notice issue, basically a fairness issue of coming and slapping people with fines that had already had something built and were never given any notice of it. So that's always been my concern. It was a fairness issue. But I think going forward, we're all on the same page that as long as proper notice is given, that yes, our office will proceed accordingly, under the ordinance, give them, I believe, when Philip and I were reviewing it, there's a multi-step process there. I mean, there's a warning, and then we can, move forward with enforcing it as far as fines go. But yes, I mean, as long as we do it the right way and people are given the proper notice, then our office is willing to do everything we can. So speak to the devil.
My thought on this is, if we pass this today, that starting today, going forward, if someone's already has built it and then we discover it, we're going to do the same thing then that we're going to do the way we do things now. But this building permit, literally, for the penalty portion, is going forward, because this way people will be able to put notice, we can put it in the paper, when we pass this, we can put it on our website, and
even if you pass it today, supposedly there's 60 days window for.
Yeah, it wouldn't go into effect until May 1, and there's a 90-day grandfathered in period. And like if you're starting construction within 90 days, you don't have to have an ordinance, I think. And then there's 2 separate 30-day windows for notification. We have to just notify the State Capital Development Board, I think, and put it in a publication in the county.
And that's the 30 days was on the first page of the publication.
Yeah.
And I saw the 90 days in there somewhere.
It's under section 3.
What you're saying is that, say that I find someone that built something last year. Are we still supposed to go through that process or say that he's grandfathered in because they didn't get it done? This is only on the flood zone.
Right.
Like, do we say we're gonna, you didn't do that, should we go, are we going after them? Or we're saying it has to be built after, because the flood zones have been affected for a while.
Okay, maybe we can answer it with this, how would FEMA look at it?
They're a violation. The reason we weren't prosecuting before was we felt like there wasn't enough notification for the person beforehand. So the thing about when we get the building permit is we can tell them right then, hey, no, look, you've got this. And then if they don't build it, now we go right to the judge and say, we were notified before, he still built. We start the fine, we go after them. That was one of the primary reasons for getting the building permit system was so they were made aware before they started to build that they were being notified. So
Yeah,
this is one of the ways that we were trying to help, at least help the individual people in the county, and also for us to be able to, the state's attorney's office to prosecute, was that they were being forewarned before they started building. Now we're coming, and still that's the way it's going to be now. We're going to these people, how you build this is completed now in the flood zone.
Well, we've already got, I think this is for, in my mind, this building permit is for everything that's not in the floodplain, because we already have rules regarding the floodplain.
But it's also the floodplain is because now it lets them know before they build that this is the other step they have to take. They can still build, but at least now they're made aware before they start that they're in this. So it's still, it's also to affect them. The thing, if you're not in the flood zone, then it also lets us know that you're building something and lets us to notify us, so that we can also talk to them about their homestead improvement exemptions, that they might be entitled to, but then also so that we can go out and make sure that we assess the structures that are erected in the county.
But this is also to help us with FEMA. Because
Yes, one of the major drives was that we were able to notify people before they build, you're in the flood zone. This outbuilding is going to be in the flood zone. You can still build it, but you have to build it to these specifications. You still have to, you still have to adhere to those.
Jeff, you're the floodplain coordinator, so you'll get everything that, Brandon said, you're good with it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well, here's my 2 cents, it's only 2 cents worth, but we had a meeting, we had the farmers, we had people there, and it was a very good meeting. Compared to what we tried to do years ago, I thought it's everybody understood. I'm for good, everybody's good with it, we're all saying things, I'm for bad, second day, and I'm down the road.
It'll take some coordination, obviously, I assume it's going to be ran through our office, so we'll just have to set some stuff up.
Right.
And get that going, so. But you've got the fee schedule, we already know about the 90 days.
So
Yeah,
did we,
sure
did
that
we,
they're going to prosecute.
did we really answer your question though about, finding someone to do it or something?
If we find them, we're just going to.
If someone's already
Floodplain ordinance that we have.
If someone's already built something in a floodplain without a development permit, they're already in violation of the floodplain ordinance.
That's correct, so we can still, and that's the thing, we're gonna move on with that, and we'll see where it goes.
But at the moment, we're not aware of anybody in violation, are we? I'm not.
Could be,
Could be.
but it's been a while, and yes, I'm still, I've got a couple there that might be looking at, sending letters. Again, we'll just go through the same procedure. The only thing we're able to do anyway is to
Right.
send the letters and then turn over to the state's attorney's office. So that, that'd be in their hands to handle at this point on. At least we do have now also that if we go on, we still also can present, we also have to do it, advertise for that, so. We'll just see what, how comes out at that point, but, It's answered my question on that part.
All right then. Everybody's good with it? Just go ahead.
I'm ready to motion. I'll make a motion that we accept the building permit, ordinance number 20-01-22-03.
I'll second it.
Go ahead, Jim.
Okay, I second it. I didn't know if you heard him or not.
Yeah, I know we need this number. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Ron Ellis,
Yes.
Jim Arlo,
Yes.
Brent Gentry.
Yeah.
All right. Treasurer's office invoices. Is that just that?
These 2 pages here from Bean, BAM, BBA.
Brandon,
Enterprises.
I do it before you go.
Yeah, I'll just talk to Jeff for this.
Okay.
I'll come right back.
Go ahead.
So these are these 2 invoices. Ashley come up and talked with us about this, that they were computer and setup programs that Beal
Mhm.
is doing, and that he said these didn't qualify for being paid for out of his automation fund, and he wanted us to pay for them.
Okay. So what this is computer setup programming, it's software.
Yep, software setup on our, that Beal's doing with the accounting system.
One of them was for payroll and the other one was for IMRF reporting.
I have one question on that. Is this something we've always paid for? I thought Treasurer paid for.
Well, this is something that's new. There were some new configuration reports done with IMRF. And there was changes on there was a new style of W4 this year. And so he had to do regarding the new tables and stuff. So he had to do some additional work, apparently Beal did, on the program. It comes back to Brent, something we've talked about many times. The accounting system that we have is, well, it's not the most modern in the world, and we don't have a backup. If Beal ever, something happens to him, we still don't have some kind of a backup on him. So.
Well, I know, we put one system, I mean, how much more we want to put into this?
Well, this is my 2 cents worth. Number one, is this required? If it is, I mean, we've operated without it for so long. I mean, I guess he's already had this work done. Am I correct?
The work's done,
So basically, he's,
and the total is $1,020 is what he's looking at.
I personally, I would like to see this brought forth during budgeting so we can budget for this. I don't have a problem doing it, but I like to do it within the budget.
Yeah.
But now that he's kind of asking for forgiveness, rather than permission. I don't know, maybe we need to discuss this a little more in depth. I'm just saying, if we continue to do this, we're gonna set a parameter for other departments. I don't know, what do you think?
I still think we need to buy the $100,000 program we've already paid for, but
Now you're talking.
this is work that's already been done. He can't pay for it out of his contingency or his automation fund, and he wants us to pay for it out of the contingency fund.
Sure would,
What was the reason, Ron? You can't, what was the reason again?
They had to do some configuration for IMRF reporting and for a new style of W4s that were issued this year. So regarding federal income tax.
So that all was all going to accounting, so why can't you take out automation? I didn't catch that. I
Because
can't pick it up on it.
The automation has to be, has a different set of rules, and according to the statute, he can't, this doesn't fall under those guidelines.
I'll tell you what I would like to do. I personally, just me personally, I'd like to table this and wait till Ashley gets back. And then we can maybe at the next meeting have him come in and we can discuss this. Maybe a little.
Yeah, I would like to hear more about it. See the big plans are using that expensive thing that they're not using. I'm not sure that too, so we might pay for
We'll just table it. Sure, yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's just go ahead and table this for right now. Okay, one thing I was wanting to ask you, I was in conversation with Greg, on, permits. And we were discussing the permits from, was it Southeastern? They were, yeah, of course, Southeastern, we've had this a couple times, either we caught them doing something without a permit, or they called and didn't realize that a permit cost $25. Regardless, if they don't have a permit to do whatever they need to do on our county right away, what enforcement do we have? Do we have anything set up as far as a fine or anything like that? What type of team do we have?
I believe we do, we probably need to dig through some of the old ordinances. It's been a while since
Yeah,
anything like that, but
That way we can
we'll certainly look into it.
Okay, that way we'll have it in our back pocket, we'll just know next time it happens, or we catch somebody. And I think, I told Greg, it might be good to send, Southeastern, wasn't it? A letter stating that, permits are required to do any type of work within our, right of way.
What kind of work are they doing?
This particular case, they're in a subdivision on the northeast side of the county, and they were gonna provide just private service in their home. They were wanting to trench through the road. We told them, no, you need a bore underneath it, and we told them to do that, you're gonna need a permit, and that's set off. Which is odd, because we've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. The mayor run it almost, well, every utility in the county, and they kind of swelled up on that. It's what we do, you're gonna be required to do it. We put language in there that if we ever have construction and it has to be moved, or relocated, they're on our right of way, they have to set it at their expense. It protects us.
You turn the table around, and if we were doing something on their right of way, we'd probably have to get their permit, as well.
If there's a permit, which there is, as Greg's saying, which everyone's doing, then there's some enforcement in there. We just need to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
There's going to be something.
That's all, I just want to make sure that we got some sort of enforcement.
Do they do it begrudgingly?
Well, they haven't done the permit yet. They're going to do more and comply with that, and we haven't got the permit done. I think they're taking it up their food chain to Dustin.
Yeah.
So, I expect it.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see you all. Thanks.
All right. Thanks. We have a raffle poker run license for the MVets, number 31. And I assume everything is good on this?
Philip looked
Philip?
over.
Yeah, I've taken a look at it. All looks to be in order.
All right.
I'll make a motion that we pass the raffle and poker run license for MDF number 31.
Okay, I'll second.
Ron Ellis.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Brent Gentry.
Okay. Ron, Joe, do we-
I'll make a motion that we accept the February 6th, 2020 minutes.
Second?
Ron Ellis.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Brent Gentry.
Make a motion, make a motion that we accept the February 11th, 2020 minutes.
Second?
Ron Ellis.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Brent Gentry.
Yeah,
Make a motion that we accept the February 13th, 2020 minutes.
I'll second it.
Ron Ellis.
Okay.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Brent Gentry.
yeah,
Make a motion that we accept the February 20th, 2020 minutes.
Second it.
Ron Ellis.
Okay.
Jim Marlowe.
Yay.
Brent Gentry.
Yay.
Okay, I'd like to read, accept the following reports, public defender reports, the Williamson County Clerk vital records for January, the Williamson County Clerk fees account for January, the Williamson County Clerk Real Estate Trust for January, the Williamson County Clerk Mobile Home Trust for January, and the Williamson County General Fund report for January. I'd like to accept all those reports. Okay. Moving on with resolutions.
Make a motion that we accept the sale of new owner, City of Marion, 06-24-288-003.
Second.
I'll second.
Ron Ellis.
Yay.
Jim Marlowe.
Yay.
Brent Gentry.
Yay.
Okay. And now we have the ordinance for the county cannabis retailers occupation tax in Williamson County. We were sent a letter from the Department of Revenue that the ordinance that we didn't have was worded exactly correct or set up correct.
Yes.
They gave us a template to give us a second go at it. And
I want to say that on the record, that when this was done back last year, we were very careful and made sure that the ordinance that was passed at that time met the rules that the state had put forth. And then December 31st, and their cockamamie way of doing things, the state decided to change all the rules, and they called it the great drug heist, and stole all the counties and municipalities' monies until November of 2020. And they, in this also, they come out with a new set of ordinances that they want passed to change everything. That so I just think it's a crock. I don't have a problem doing this, but I think it's an absolute crock that the state of Illinois is still charging the exorbitant sales tax and that they do on the marijuana stuff, and then they're keeping all the proceeds. And this is just a continuation of their incompetency, in my opinion.
So Paul, this cleans it all up, you're confident that this is all we need to do, correct?
Yeah, this the template the state sent us, and as long as we get it filed by April 1st, we will start collecting revenue on July 1st.
And if we're lucky, we'll start seeing the money in November.
Okay, if everybody's good, I'll make a motion on this.
I'll make a motion that we accept the ordinance for the county cannabis retailers occupation tax of Williamson County for ordinance number 20-03-10-04.
Second.
Ron Ellis.
Yay.
Jim Marlowe.
yay.
Brent Gentry.
Yay.
Tell us how you really feel, Ron.
Now they just gonna take the crap out of me.
Tell us how. Come on.
I'm holding back. I'm learning better.
Oh,
All right, moving on. We have board appointment to the Williamson County Fire Protection Board. We have got a note here from the Williamson County Fire Protection District that the term of Gary Hill and Rusty Baker's term expired, and they would like to be reappointed. Starting on, they will start on May 1st, 2020, and expiring on April 30th, 2023, for both of them. So I just need a motion to appoint those.
I'll make a motion that we accept the reappointment of Gary Hill and Rusty Baker to the Williamson County Fire Protection District, resolution number 20-03-10-14.
Ron Ellis.
Yay.
Brent Gentry.
Yay.
Jim Marlowe.
Okay. And we have one board appointment to the Purchase Water District. There is going to be vacancies on the Purchase Water District due to the resignation of Ryan Farley and the expiration of Kevin Crompton. They would like to appoint Stephen Ross Smith to finish out the remainder of Brian Farley's term, and Kevin Crompton is reappointed. Okay, now, Stephen Smith, Stephen Smith, his term will expire on May 1st, 2023. Kevin Crompton will be reappointed to serve another 5-year term, commencing on today's date, due to expire on May 1st, 2025. So I've got to sign.
If I may, I'll say one thing on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, let me tell you something about this board. Years ago, they were in shambles. I mean, they couldn't do anything right. There was a lot of stuff going on back years ago. And so David Anderson, Crompton, the guys are on there, they think about the Competing Act, and they're right by the book. And I'm really proud of the board. And the reason why Harley stepped off is because, and I like this too, he worked with Brian Flickler, and he didn't feel like if they had any road work, engineering work, it would be right with him doing like that, they conflict of interest, and that's why he's stepping off, and I appreciate that too, because a lot of people wouldn't care. So I just think it came a long way, and I'm all for this, so. Anyway, that's why he's stepping off, so.
Yeah, well, he no longer works for him, I don't think.
Right.
But it's,
Well, I don't know, is he not this bigger or more? I don't know.
yeah, no, I talked to Brian the other day. But anyway, regardless, that's fine, whatever, you know, it doesn't change anything really. So all we need is a motion to approve those.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the reappointment of Kevin Crompton as trustee to Burgess Water District, from May 1, 2020 to May 1, 2025. And for the, appointment, there it is, Stephen Ross, reappoint, or to the appointment of Stephen Ross Smith, to fill the vacant position of Ryan Farley. That would be,
To February 11th, 2020.
February 11th of 2020, and it appears that would be.
No, that's when.
That's when he takes over, that's when he would take over.
Yeah, correct. The remainder of his term.
Yeah, I was just trying to see, I don't see when that is, so. It didn't say when his term expires.
It expired on May
23.
1st, 2023.
Yeah, 2023.
All right, through May 1,
May 1st.
May 1st of 2023.
I'll second it.
Ron Ellis.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Brent Gentry.
Okay, we've got a couple of travel reimbursements. One's for Greg Smothers at the Highway Department. He had went to the Spring County Engineers meeting on 4/28, or he will be going on 4/28 through 5/1. The total amount will be for 423.36. Is that correct on here?
Mhm.
Okay, all right. So we just need approval for that.
I'll make a motion that we accept the travel reimbursement for Greg Smothers for 423.36.
Ron Ellis.
Yay.
Jim Marlowe.
Okay.
Brent Gentry.
The other one is for me, went to the UCCI educational seminar. It was a 2-day event, February 25th, 26th. The total amount is $400.29. Need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion that we accept the travel reimbursement for Jim Marlowe for a total of $400.29.
Okay.
Ron Ellis.
Yay.
Jim Marlowe.
Abstain.
Brent Gentry.
All right, well, that concludes the business portion of it. We ended up the meeting for this time. If someone would like to say something, if you would, sir, if you stand on the golden X, introduce yourself and.
My name is Edward Simmons. I'm the representative for Westgate subdivision down in Lake of Egypt. In a dangerous, unsafe situation we're having to deal with on Country Club Road and Power Plant Road. Right now, the speed limit on Power Plant Road is posted about 1.5 miles down as 50 miles an hour. You have to go to a straightaway, a dangerous S curve, and then up a hill. Country Club Road, where 5 of us subdivisions live on and walk on and come on to Power Plant Road, is our only access in and out of the subdivisions. My wife and I have adopted the road and pick up trash on it. Well, last pickup in October, and we picked up last weekend. Among that was 178 beer cans and bottles, 67 liquor bottles. And in the 2.5 hours Saturday and Sunday we were there, cars turned off a Lake of Egypt road, floored it, were doing 80, 90 miles an hour before they hit the S curve. Well, when we turn off a country club to go into the S curve, we have to look up the hill. Because when cars hit the bottom of the road from the top of the hill, they're doing 60, 70 miles an hour, slam on their brakes on our bumper. We're watching out for deer that cross on the S curve. We also picked up parts of fenders, parts of headlights, parts of bumpers, and the whole bumper where people are getting hit. Going off the road into ditches. We think 50 miles an hour is very dangerous. We have no sidewalks. We can only walk the road. If you want to go visit a neighbor, you have to walk the road. We are hoping that the board would look at the safety of our citizens there and lower those speed limits on Power Plant Road. And there is no posted speed limit on Country Club, which is all residential. So cars are speeding 50 miles an hour. They're turning in, doing 50, 60 miles an hour, running our neighbors off the road in a residential area. It's ridiculous. We need to be safe. We're hoping the board will take into consideration. Just like when you see the state of Illinois goes into Marion, their speed limits are 35 and 25 in a residential area. Will the Williamson County Board think of us residents and lower our speed limits so that we can be safe to walk the roads? I'm hoping you'll agree to that, override any kind of highway regulations that make it dangerous for our citizens. The state of Illinois sees it safe enough for their citizens to be 35 and 25 going through Marion. Why can't we have it 35 and 25 going through our subdivisions?
Good, very good point.
Because chipping oil is irregular. A lot of times when I have to pass a car, I have to have 2 wheels on the gravel, or else my rear side view mirror is going to hit the truck side. Very dangerous situation, and I hope the board will do something to make our area safer for us.
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind would be him, have you talked to the sheriff, and you call the sheriff's department. They're the ones that enforce. They're the ones that would control, they're the ones that would issue.
50 miles an hour through a residential area,
But-
subdivision?
But the sheriff's department would write the ticket. They're the ones that would control the speed.
They have enough
enforce them.
people to sit there.
The second point is, Greg, would you like to address this issue?
Well, both Power Plant and
Country Club.
thank you, Country Club Road, both, for us to make any modifications to the speed limit, according to the statutes in place and IDOT regulations and the UTCD requires a traffic study and engineering study done.
Okay.
And when you do that, we have to follow those results to the letter. So if it comes out of a certain speed limit, that's what we have to follow.
Correct.
And we don't mind at all to do that. I just don't want, we can't arbitrarily come up with a number and say this is what it's going to be. Now, when we do that, we will be looking at the spacing of the driveways and things like that, because there's very specific guidelines in the statutes and guidelines that we have to follow. I'm pretty sure that 50-mile-an-hour speed limit was something that we did back in 2011 when we did a speed study out there. That's all I can provide. We have to follow the rules as they exist.
What's the process, to do something like, I know we've done that before in some other areas.
Yeah, we send a guy out there and they, part of the study is you do an analysis of the existing speeds that are out there today.
Now, when you're saying the analysis of the speed, you're looking at what's posted.
No, we're looking at how people are driving.
Okay, that's all I want to clarify. Okay.
Yeah. Because that affects how the results end up.
Okay.
And that's just the way the system's set up for us to follow, you know? And, you know, and if it comes out 50, that's what we'll have to post, is 50. Now, you know, the character of Power Plant Road is different than Country Club Road. I think the speed on Country Club Road, there's a better chance of it being at a lower speed limit than there is on Power Plant, you know, but I can't say that for sure until we do the results. So,
Yeah, that's true. Today, when I came here, I turned on the Power Plant Road, I saw no cars at the top. I didn't get 50 feet, and there was a car on my bumper. So he had to be doing 65 coming down like that.
I was sharing with him before the meeting, we're encountering this all over the county. People drive in a reckless manner all over the county. It's really quite amazing.
What?
That-
Beer, liquor, and now cannabis. I mean, it's ridiculous. And can we get more Williamson County Sheriff's cars out? How do we do that?
That's up to Ben. He's the sheriff. He's the one who
Yeah.
controls all that. But
So
as far
county
as
or the highway
the other,
take care of that.
place where we put that stop sign up not too long ago, is that on the other side of the power plant?
Yes, that's across the bridge.
Across the
And that's a
bridge,
couple
yeah.
minor streets that
Yeah.
come into the power plant. And I always caution people, when we do studies and we put the posted speed limits out, regardless of what they are, people are gonna drive as they will. And by and large, they ignore what we put up.
You put 50, they're doing 65.
Well, if I
They
put,
kept running us off the road, and we got our chartreuse vests and gloves on and everything, and we're trying to make the area beautiful.
yeah, and for that, you should be commended. I've had a lady in yesterday, she's on the other side of the lake, and, same thing. She was sharing almost the exact story he was saying about the type of trash that people throw out. It's really quite amazing.
They're under the influence, speeding on a chipping around the road.
And see, and I tell people this too, there's no highway, there's no engineer in the state that can design a road that's suited for someone that's drunk or under the influence and that speeds. You just can't do it. It's, if they elect to do those things, they're outside the limits of what I have any control, and really Benny for that matter, unless it's outside of.
And this is where the enforcement part comes in, which falls underneath the sheriff's.
Yeah, we're at the end of the county down there.
But you're still in the county,
Yeah.
so it's still part of his jurisdiction, is what I'm
You
getting
see
at. So,
him very little down there, and,
well, I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll be more than happy to call Benny and forward this information. And Greg, as far as the study goes,
I will put those two roads on our list. We're doing one today. With any luck, we try to balance it. We're in the process of designing a couple hot mix asphalt roads right now. I'm going to try to get these two roads into that mix so that we can have a study done, and we'll see what the results come out.
maybe see if you can override those.
I
For the
cannot,
safety of the citizens.
I cannot override, I got a lot of
Yeah, the
professional
board
license.
no, we have to abide by what our state's attorney's office
So
says.
how does the state change it to 35?
Well, because of the
Marion-
state,
That's the city of Marion.
yeah,
So the city of Marion cares more about the citizens? They got sidewalks.
they
to
will
walk.
until something happens and they get sued.
There's
because they
no,
didn't follow.
there's
the
no way
guidelines.
we can,
Can you give us sidewalks to walk on?
No, no, if, for me, if I arbitrarily do something, one, I'm setting up a speed trap. Two, I'm risking my license. And three, I'm opening up the county for everybody, every road in this county to have an arbitrary speed limit. And it will become to a point where no one will pay any attention to anything. We already have that problem bad enough, because people do not listen, pay attention to our signs. And if we put up stuff that's arbitrary, I'm afraid it's just gonna erode our ability to do anything.
Well, I know that on 166, about a mile south of Route 13 going toward Creel, there's a long straightaway. And I know for a fact that cars, because I used to live there, cars travel 80 to 100 miles an hour on that straightaway. And there's been some really bad wrecks there. State police have patrolled it, county police have patrolled it, and they still drive 80 to 100 miles an hour. Right, wrong, or indifferent, people just are irresponsible. I mean, they want to get where they're going in a hurry, and they don't care who they run over to get there.
Well, we will schedule these two roads and have a study done.
Mr. Simmons, there's a way to go about this, and we're all in favor of public safety. Don't walk away thinking that we're not. But,
Well, I'm gonna go talk to Benny over there.
But, and I'll be more than happy, like I said, to call him as well, and to tell him what you just expressed here. And we will do what we can, but, we have to operate within the guidelines of what we can operate.
So we have no sidewalks, we just have roads and ditches. That's the only
That's the way it is over the entire county. So,
So hopefully you guys can get together and come up with some way to make us safer down there before we have to go to funerals for our neighbors.
Well, I will say this, and Greg and I, we've discussed this before, even if the speed limit is lowered, there's no guarantee they're gonna follow it.
Yeah, more times than not, they will not. But it's unfortunate, but.
Yeah, it's
the
unfortunate,
way-
yeah, and you would think people would obey, but there's times that they don't, like you stated, they may be under the influence of whatever.
Yeah,
And,
we're trying to keep the roads clean, but cleaning up beer and liquor
Sure.
bottles is ridiculous. Especially that many since last October.
But we'll do what we can, and I appreciate you being here and letting us know about this. I do appreciate that.
Thank you for listening to me.
You're more than welcome. That being said, does anybody have anything else?
Did we need to take any action on that Pittsburgh Road engine braking issue?
Oh, that, we found out that, or you found out that,
Yeah, we can either just put up the engine braking noises signs or let Pittsburgh do it.
Pittsburgh's gonna do it. I forwarded the information to Kyle, they said,
Okay.
great, they'll take care of it, so.
I didn't know if we needed a
Yeah,
resolution or
no,
anything.
no, you said that, and I appreciate your checking in on that.
Yeah.
They didn't need a resolution, that they could go ahead and just do it. So,
All right.
That's what I told, let Kyle know. So,
Have you ever heard anything else regarding the White Ash in Johnston City?
we're still in the process. I saw Brian Ziegler, talked with him just the other day. I saw him out at the airport, and, Brian is working on it. There's a couple more things that he needs to get, and he'll get with me to give me a hard number. And then once I get a hard number, as far as what it would take to bring that system up to, specs, then I would forward that to Dale Fowler, and Dale's supposed to help find some state money that would take care of that. That would make it, more palatable for Johnson City to take over the system. Everything is still on hold right now, but we're just waiting for Brian to get back to me on that. But, anyway, so that's where that stands. But Johnson City, I think, is still interested. They just, and I don't blame them. They don't want to take over a system that's full of problems or anything. If we can get that up to speed, then with maybe some state help, then they'll take over and hopefully the problem will be solved.
That would be good.
So, Brent, you got anything you want to add?
He's not on there anymore. The call got dropped. He texted and told me.
I was gonna,
Yeah. We found the in button.
I haven't heard anything else regarding that roundabout and
Do you know if
Blairsville.
he's heard any response about that intergovernmental agreement?
I talked to Joe Z about that, and that's in the works for this year.
Yeah, they're gonna start construction this year. I talked to Greg McLaughlin, he's the one that's been coordinating with the water district over there. Basically, their water and sewer lines are on an existing right of way. And this was something that was in their program long before, the development was planned. And so this has nothing to do with it. Now, you know, they're going to tie that to it, but basically the way he explained it to me, and this is what we always had. If, you know, they have designed the system to relocate those lines for the new roundabout. I think it's $300,000 for the work.
Yeah.
The clear the two is done. If they elect to not do that before the construction starts, they will get them relocated during the contract, during the construction of the contract, and they'll be billed and given 90 days to pay that money back.
IDOT will do the work. basically.
Yeah. And then once 90 days expires, then it will be turned over to the Illinois Attorney General's office, and they will seek a repayment, and usually it's done through a payment method where they can pay it back in installments, but that requires them to do things internally, you know, to make that happen. So that's what they told me.
But this roundabout is not the sole result of Walker's Bluff, because this was on IDOT's radar. This was IDOT doing this, whether or not
Using their
Walker-
safety money.
right, whether or not Walker's Bluff, because in their mind, they, this will help traffic flow for safety purposes in that area.
Right.
So it's just,
It'll
it's
slow down.
coincidental
Yeah.
that Walker's Bluff is looking to come in there. It's literally coincidental. But they don't, Blairsville people don't believe that.
Yeah, and that's, unfortunately, it's not our problem. I feel bad for them, but
If I was in the water district, I wouldn't like the state telling me you have to do this and pay $300,000 and have no say in it. I wouldn't be happy with that either.
And speaking with Joe Z over there at the Greater Region, like I told Greg, IDOT evidently sends these permits out stating this, but they're old, they're very old. However, I would think that anyone that's on any board of any sort of utility would always have that in the back of their mind, that if there's any work that's going to be done, or if their utilities running on any right of way that belongs to IDOT, that they know in the back of their minds, any work that IDOT does, if utilities need to be moved, it's on your nickel.
We put it in our permits, that very same language. It's so that if we have a project, the same thing will be in effect.
Well, with that being said, anyone have anything else? Developers got anything?
Did you respond to that question?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay, all right, then I'll use a motion to,
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Ron Ellis.
Okay.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Don.